Hi everyone, Maria Tyler here. Today in this short video we're going to be restating the statement of changes in equity. Okay, so the point with restating is again to get you used to financial statements by making you look through every line item, and you have to look through every line item because you have to classify it into either operating or financial. Okay, so with the statement of changes in equity in particular, we're separating other comprehensive income into O, which is my acronym for operating, or F, which is my acronym for financial. Okay, now I have a number of tips that will help you, and I'm going to show you step by step how to do that in this video. You have to have an opening and a closing balance. The opening balance for the next year is the closing balance for the previous year. It must be linked, fully linked to your financial statements that you entered in assignment 1. And there's a couple checks that you can do that your total comprehensive income, or CI, matches to that in your income statement, and also that your closing balance for equity also matches the closing balance for equity in the balance sheet. Okay, so you need to read chapter 4. If you haven't already, you need to go and do it. So I'm going to flick there now to chapter 4. Martin does a good explanation of what operating and financial activities actually are, and you need to have an understanding of that before you can attempt to do your restating. So please make sure you read chapter 4. You had to read chapter 4 anyway as part of your step 1 for assignment 2. So you'll probably have to read it a few times. It's overwhelming for everybody on the first read, even me when I did it a few years ago. And if you scroll down to page 8, he takes you through restating the statement of changes in equity. Okay, so he covers restating that over 3 pages, so 8, 9 and 10. So you'll see Ryman Healthcare's actual statement of changes in equity and then the restated statement of changes in equity. Okay, so we're going to do that with my example company Wesfarmers now. We're going to do it in this format: the set out, the opening balance, we'll list our profit, then we will actually split our other comprehensive income into O and F, and then we'll look at our transactions with shareholders, just simply list those down, and we'll finish with the closing balance, and it's going to be fully linked. So I'm going to use the spreadsheet that I started with in the previous video, entering your financial statements, and I'll click it into the restated financial statements tab, and I'm literally just going to link everything. So I'm going to link the opening balance to my opening balance in my statement of changes in equity, and I'm going to fill right down to I get to the comprehensive income section. So I'm going to fill without formatting. Don't need this one. Again, link my opening balance. I'm going to link everything. Fill that across. Fill my net profit from the year. Fill that across. Okay, this is my heading. I'm going to start other comprehensive income. Now, I actually have to split my other CI into O and F. So how I do that is I go back to my original financials and I have a look at how many items I have. Now, Wesfarmers has 4 items of other comprehensive income for this year. Your company may have more or less, but we have to go through every single item of these and classify it either as O or as F. And again, to do that, you need to know what O and F actually are. Hence why I said read chapter 4 and gather your understanding on the difference. Okay, Martin's got a nice diagram in chapter 4 explaining about the difference. So operating activities are to do with day-to-day operations, your customers and suppliers. Financial activities are to do with the people who fund the operations. So basically your shareholders or your equity investors, and banks, who are your main debt investors. Okay, so you need to understand the difference between O and F before you can start classifying these. Now, I know, because I've worked with Wesfarmers for a few years, that my exchange differences on their foreign operations is to do with their operations. So I'm going to put an O next to that. Again, exchange differences on the disposal of foreign operations is O for Wesfarmers. The changes in the fair value of cash flow hedges is again O. Now, in your companies, that may not be the case. It may be F. So if it is, you can put that down as F. The remeasurement loss on defined benefit plan, I know that's to do with their employees' superannuation. So employees are O, so that's also O. So for me, I actually have all of my other comprehensive income is actually operating. Now for your companies that may not be the case. There may be some financial comprehensive income, in which case put an F next to those items. Okay, so now we're going to add a heading in here and we're going to call it Other. Get it right. Other Operating CI. And then, and make that into a heading as well, I'm going to simply link all of my O items. Now for me that's all of them. Okay, so that's all 4 of them. Fill without formatting. Take off the bolding. And again, link the figures, all 4 sets of figures. Normally I can just fill one across and pull it down, but it wasn't letting me, so I'll just do it manually. Okay, now I'm going to put a total in here and call it total of operating CI. And I'll go equals sum. Okay, so that's my other operating. And I'll put a little line so I know that this is a total. Now I'm going to put another heading and I'm going to call it Other Financial Comprehensive Income. Okay, and I'm going to link all items of my F if you had them. So you would go and you would link to, for example, if it's that one, you would link that. Now in my case I actually don't have any. So I'm just going to do a total of my financial comprehensive income. And I'm simply going to put 0 because I actually don't have any. And that just shows my marker that I've thought about it and I actually don't have any financing comprehensive income. But it's good to have a total because we're actually going to compare the split up of our O and F for other CI with what we do when we come to restate the income statement. Okay, so that's my other operating. So this is my O. I've split up my O, my other comprehensive income into O, and I've also split it into F. I didn't have any in this case. So I'm going to put a total in here and put total comprehensive income. Now, remember there's a difference between other comprehensive income, which is just the items of comprehensive income, and total comprehensive income. I explained this in the lecture and also in entering the financial statements video. And the total comprehensive income equals my profit plus my all items of other comprehensive income. So that's the operating plus the financing components. Okay, so make sure that you're summing that correctly. And again, that's another check that we will perform later on. Okay, now I want to tell my marker that I'm up to my transactions with shareholders. Okay, and that's a heading. So again, just flicking back to my slides, we've got an opening balance, we've put our profit in, we have split up our other comprehensive income into O and F. Okay, so now we're up to transactions with shareholders, so we're going to go and list all of those. I'm going to add a few extra lines in. Just quickly format those. I'll just make life a bit easier for me. Okay, and I'm simply going to link all of my transactions with shareholders, which is all of these. Okay, so share-based payments, right down to the bottom. Fill without formatting. Okay, so I can delete these. Don't need those lines. Get rid of the bolding. And my closing balance is going to be a sum. Now, before I go down and link the figures, I'll just check that my total comprehensive income matches that in my original financials. So 5472 and 1347, 5472, 1347, 2891 and 329. 2891 and 329, great. So I know that I've done my formula right. Okay, let's link these figures. Share-based payment transactions. Share-based payment transactions here. And I'm going to link it right down to the closing balance. Fill without formatting. Simply drag that across to every line. Normally I could just drag and drop, but for some reason it's not letting me, so just do it manually. Oops. See if it'll do it now. Yep, there you go. I just had to be on the right. Had to scroll over a little bit. Now the closing balance will be equals my opening balance, okay, plus my total comprehensive income, plus all of my transactions with shareholders. Actually, yeah, I'll do that, do it this way. Close brackets, okay, and pull this across. And just check that that matches my original. So 9971, 22754, 9971, 22754, 23941, and 22949, and it does. So a little formatting line there. And that's my restated statement of changes in equity. That's as hard as it gets. The two checks that you can do that I mentioned was to check that your total comprehensive income matches that in the income statement, that your closing balance for equity matches the closing balance for equity in the balance sheet. I'll see you for the next video.